Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. Michael Jordan. What does it really take to accomplish your dreams? Preparation, opportunity, luck, but it takes something else. A hard to define quality that boils down to an unbreakable, serious focus. And I mean it, like focus and seriousness. Unbreakable focus and seriousness about the task at hand. And if you know anything about Luffy, you know that focus and seriousness aren't really his strong suit. He's lucky he has a team behind him that makes up for all of his pitfalls. But his team, the Straw Hats, and all teams don't just come out of nowhere. They don't just fall out of the coconut tree.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Luffy is the star player and his crew are the supporting cast. But if Luffy got injured in the playoffs, you know this would be the Zoro Show. Which frankly, to me, is a strength of the Straw Hats. Like, even the best player in the world needs a strong supporting cast to achieve their goals. Because when you look at the best teams in the whole history of sports, what really makes them great? The Spanish national team dominated world football from 2008 to 2012. Not because of just one star player, it was a team of stars. But they won everything because of the seamless coordination between those individuals who all had immense skills. And the 95-96 Bulls, of course, led by potentially the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan. And they were different. Jordan was definitely the star on that team. But Jordan and the team had an unbreakable focus on their goal and a serious level of group accountability. Preparation, opportunity, focus, individual skill, group accountability, high standards. These are the elements that create championship teams. But when we look at Luffy alone, we see sometimes there's a lack of that seriousness and focus. As much as Luffy's success is because of his talent, he heavily relies on his team. And among them all, Zoro stands out as the most crucial member for leadership towards his goal. Zoro's the driving force behind what the Straw Hats are accomplishing for a lot of reasons. Least of which being that there's not really anyone else on the team who's more like Luffy than Zoro. From their brainless attitude, to their mutual lack of showering, to their love and trust of the team that they built. Like when Caesar is being flown away by Buffalo and Baby 5 and Usopp's lining up to snipe them, Law's about to step in and use his powers, and Zoro and Luffy both tell Law to chill out and trust their sniper. And that's the essence of their relationship. They built this crew together, and they love it. The best thing Luffy ever did was pull Zoro off that cross. And after that, they set out on their adventure together in their little dinghy, but it was their relationship, their dynamic, that set the tone for who the Straw Hats would become. The culture in the Straw Hats wasn't something that Luffy ever thought about. It was pretty natural. The belief in Luffy's dream and the seriousness of what the crew has set out to accomplish is something that different crew members have articulated throughout the series. But time and time again, this is something that Zoro leads. It's easy for the Straw Hats to act like they're friends, and even more than that, like they're a family, which makes it easy for them to forget what they're actually there to do. But not Zoro. He's always laser focused on their goal, even if he gets lost on his way there. And that's why I so deeply believe that the Straw Hats owe as much to Zoro as they do Luffy about who they are and where they're going. More than anyone else, Zoro has intentionally led the culture of how the Straw Hats interact with their goal. Their ultimate goal is to make Luffy the Pirate King. They all have their own dreams, which they pursue to varying degrees, but their unifying goal is a belief in Luffy. And that belief is a promise that they'll be the best versions of themselves. And this was explicitly done by Zoro. Zoro's promise to Luffy that he'd never lose again after Mihawk absolutely murks him at the Baratier set the tone for the entire crew. You're not promising to accomplish your goal for yourself. If you truly believe that Luffy's gonna be king of the pirates, you're promising to accomplish your goal because you believe that it's the only thing fit for Luffy's crew. Because the second strongest swordsman in the world wouldn't cut it on the king of the pirates crew. And that promise at the Baratier not only shows his future counterpart Sanji the lofty goal of their crew, but it's kind of the first case of Zoro creating the Straw Hats culture of excellence. They've all placed a bet on Luffy to be Pirate King. And by way of that, on themselves to be fit to sail alongside the king. And unfortunately for the Straw Hats, they bet on the goofiest horse in the stable. To make their goal a reality, Luffy has to be focused. And like I said before, focus isn't his strong suit. Sure, there are moments of focus, and the time skip really put everything into perspective for him, but it didn't change him. Because there are moments, right? Like on Punk Hazard, Zoro had to step in and chastise his captain to take things more seriously. This dynamic might not seem normal, and maybe it's unexpected. Like, they have a hierarchy, and someone yelling at the captain feels a little backwards. But it's actually a signal of a really healthy and strong team culture. Like, the level of accountability in the Straw Hats is insane. And like a good leader, Luffy isn't above the standard that his team has. Without universal accountability to the standard, teams can't develop and maintain a winning culture. If someone thinks of themselves as above the law, it all comes crumbling down. Whether it's a star player or a captain or a coach, everyone has to put the work in, and everyone has to respect their teammates and their goals. And on the Straw Hats, Zoro is the one consistently holding this line. It's fitting that the man with the three swords has this stance where, like steel, he'll break before he bends. And he showcases it during one of the hardest and most important moments for the Straw Hats, when Usopp leaves the crew. No one on the crew understands the gravity of what happened. Like I said, they all love each other like family. So when Usopp throws a tantrum and leaves, everyone's thinking about how to bring him back, regardless of the things he said to Luffy or about the crew. They love him, and they understand that he didn't mean it. But not Zoro. Zoro sees the moment that they're in as a crew, and Zoro knows that words mean something, that actions mean something. And this is something that we all know, right? When you're arguing with a family member or a partner or a friend, and things get heated, and someone takes it a little too far. They say something that like really cuts deep, something they probably didn't actually mean. And later, when things calm down and they apologize, it's not always easy to forgive and forget, because it hurts. Even if they didn't mean it, they said what they said. And Usopp said what he said. And to forget what he said was the same as ignoring what it meant. And in turn, ignoring the seriousness of what they were doing. Forgetting what he said just to move on was paramount to forgetting what their goal is. And it's so important to acknowledge that while everyone was okay with that, even Luffy, the person who Usopp's anger was directed at, Zoro said no. He cut a line in the sand. And it may have seemed extreme, but it was the right thing to do. And he held that line throughout the entire arc. Even when Usopp showed up for them when it really mattered. If he won't acknowledge what he said and apologize, then he's no longer on the team. Because if he was accepted back that easily, then there wasn't really a team to begin with. There wasn't really a group unified around the goal of winning.
そんなに別れたくなけりゃな。力ずくで連れてくればよかったんだ。
マリモ。
サントリュー。待てルフィ、サントリューは悪口じゃねえ。
Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. We all know Zoro's talent, but Zoro's role in who the Straw Hats are is his intelligence to take things seriously. His leadership, focus, and standards are what shaped the Straw Hats into the team that they are. As they keep going on their journey, it's Zoro's influence that keeps them united and ready to face any new challenge. I think the Straw Hats owe as much to Zoro as they do Luffy. And as they sail towards their ultimate goal, the culture of excellence that Zoro has instilled in the team will be their guiding force. Welcome back, Noonheads. Thanks so much for watching again today. Here's to you. Can I get some robots in the chat, please? Just one time. I don't really have anything to say again, but I like just like a little chit chat at the end. I don't really know what to do in this section, so I'm gonna try a few different things. You guys tell me what you like. What I really wanted to say today was, I hope this video doesn't give like the impression that I'm some insane Zoro fanboy. Like, I love Zoro. He's great. He's an all-timer anime character for sure. And I think there's a ton of depth to his character, more than like Sword goes slash. Or like that he's strong. I think one of my next videos is going to be about Sanji, because I think Sanji is a much deeper character with not as big of an impact on not the story, but like the crew. I don't know, it's hard to articulate. I think Zoro, what I want to say is that I think the Zoro Sanji debate and like they hate each other thing, anyone who's talking about it, like Zoro or Sanji, or you have to pick one, or that they hate each other, has never loved someone else. They've never felt the warm touch of a friend. They don't know anything about people, because what their relationship is like two brothers or two people who are on the same sports team who used to be on different teams. Like they hate each other and they love each other, and they're so happy that they're together. The scene in Wano where Sanji is saying, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Wano, just click off. I've already got the attention I need. But where Sanji's saying, like, if I can't turn back after this, kill me. I literally just got goosebumps saying that. Like, those two are thick as thieves. I think the metaphor about them being like the wings of the Pirate King, so apt, because it's not a competition about who's stronger or who would win in a fight. They will never fight each other because they have the same goal. And this is the thing, and this is like the whole point of this video, and why I think Zoro's so important, is because he is the reason why when they bring new people into the crew, and I call out the Mihawk thing, I think it's important that Sanji wasn't a member of the crew and saw Zoro do that. Because Sanji was like, these guys are fucking freaks. And I'm matching their freak right now. I kind of want to be a part of that. Zoro's ethos around leading by example is what sets the tone for, like, when you're in Wano and Frankie, or when Usopp's like telling Nami, I think Nami's fighting Ulti, and she's like, just say that it doesn't matter that Luffy's not going to be the Pirate King, and Usopp's like, just say it, like you're gonna die, and Nami's like, no, like, he's gonna be the Pirate King, and if I'm not willing to say that with my whole chest, then who the fuck am I? Like, that is Zoro coded to a T. And I just think he's important. He's not the deepest character on the Straw Hats by any stretch of the imagination. And good Lord, do I hope that Oda gives him like a full, compelling backstory and some kind of character arc that isn't just like, I swing swords harder and harder. But his importance to the story and his importance to the Straw Hats is, I think that, like, there's an argument to be made that it's more important to Luffy. Like, Luffy's doing his own thing, but who the Straw Hats are, that's Zoro. That's Zoro and Nami. And like, I think Nami's the other big part of it. I could make a similar video about Nami pretty easily. But I think that Zoro has such good moments. The Punk Hazard moment, the Baratier moment, and there are all these things where, like, he and Luffy, like, they don't look at each other, they look together in the same direction. So it's an easy one. And yeah, I guess I'm just rambling now about it. I like talking about this stuff. I think when I make videos, I kind of need to be a little more scripted, just because I'm not making any good points right now, but I do like talking about it. So I'm thinking about taking these last sections and just throwing a few minutes of me just rambling about it in an unstructured way. And you could just look at my pretty face. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Like, comment, subscribe. I hate when people say that. What the fuck am I doing? I hope you guys have a really good day and week. And Honestly, read Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, read Hunter x Hunter. If you're an adult, grow the fuck up. Read Hunter x Hunter. Bye, babies.